Hello, my friends. My name is Irina Vladimirovna Karadzic, and I'm an English teacher in Odessa Gymnasium 8. This lesson is for students in the 10th form. We'll continue to speak about technology using computers and the internet. But in today's lesson, we're going to find interesting and weird information, I think. I've never heard about that, but let's begin. Please look through these three questions and think about the answers. 1. Which five apps on your phone or tablet do you use most? 2. What does each one do and how does it work? 3. Which is your favorite app and why? Decide if the statements below are true or false. Then read US Today and check your ideas. 1. The number of Americans interested in wearable technology is growing fast. True, false? We don't know. More than half of wearable devices in use are used in sport activities. 3. The majority of people aren't worried about privacy issues. True or false? Let's see. Now, let's read this text. So, the wearable technology market grew from $6.3 million in 2010 to $5.1 billion in 2013 and continues to grow rapidly. 61% of all devices in the wearable technology market are activity or fitness trackers. 60% of Americans who own wearable technology devices say that it helps them feel more in control of their lives. And last, 51% of people reported that privacy is the main thing preventing them from using wearable technology. Now, let's check your answers. 1. True. 2. True. 3. False. Now, look at exercise 3. Let's think about these wearable gadgets. And what do you think the function of each wearable gadget is? First, we have headset. Headset records everything. Next, we have narrative camera. Takes a photo every 30 seconds. Next, fitness armband tracks your movement and sleep patterns. Next, heart rate monitor measures your heartbeat. Posture sensor checks your posture. Smartwatch sends you alerts from your phones. Now we have very interesting text. Let's listen and follow, please.
CD3, Track 10. Rise of the Internet. Meet the most connected man on the planet. For most people, keeping track of emails and staying on top of their calendar might be hard enough. But for American software developer Chris Dancy, life doesn't feel complete without being connected to several hundred devices and applications that collect data about his life at all times. I've been called the most connected human on Earth, he says. I've spent the last 4 years connecting all the devices that I wear to all the smart technology in my home and transmitting all that data through to a single online platform so I can search my entire life. I call it my internet. On a normal day, Dancy travels light, only wearing 6 devices. Above his eyes sits a headset, which records everything he sees. Around his neck hangs a narrative camera, which requires no photography skills because it takes a picture automatically every 30 seconds. On his wrist is a smartwatch, which sends him alerts from his 2 smartphones, while around the upper arm is a fitness armband, tracking his movement and sleep patterns. 24 hours a day. And then there's the stuff you can't see. A heart rate monitor strapped to his chest to measure his heartbeats, and beneath his waistband, a posture sensor, which vibrates when I get tired and I forget my posture and slouch, he beams. Back in Denver, Colorado, all the data from these devices feeds directly into his home environment, which automatically adjusts according to his mood and needs. The house knows my moods, he says. If I've been dashing around all day and get really stressed out so that I don't sleep well, when I wake up, the light is a certain color, the room a particular temperature, and certain music plays. Dancy claims this connected environment, which he calls data-assisted living, has revolutionized his life, helping him to lose 100 pounds in 18 months and letting him live in a state of Zen-like calm, safe in the knowledge that his every moment is being archived. He can cast an eye over this personal data anytime he needs to remember something that happened in the past. I was at a restaurant in Denver, and I was like, what did I eat here last time? So I browsed all the photos from that day and could see exactly what meal it was, he says. He goes on to give another example. When I have a meeting with someone on my calendar, instead of scanning a LinkedIn profile, I can access information about how they made me feel the first time I met them. So, when you're as connected as Dancy, what's the next frontier? All this stuff has to go away, he says. It all needs to be in my clothing. Why can't your shoes have sensors in them? So if you're wandering around trying to find a location, you don't need a GPS. Your shoe just vibrates left or right. I think this kind of personalized data is really the future. But for now, we have to fix all this stuff onto our clothes, and people stare at you because it looks silly. But what about the issue of ownership of data and privacy? A lot of data is fed back on the web, and a lot of companies now hold huge amounts of data on their customers. Dancy frowns. He is concerned, but is optimistic about the beneficial power of mastering our data, as long as we stop giving it away. It's urgent that people look at the data they are creating and giving away. So much of it can be used to make our lives better, rather than lining the pockets of mega corporations.
So, 4 questions from the first and after 6. Choose the correct answer. A, B, C, or D. 1. Dempsey is called the most connected man because he uses technology to track every detail of his life. 2. One of the devices that Dempsey wears. D. Alerts him when he's standing, sitting up straight. 3. Dempsey maintains that technology has enabled him to de-stress and lose weight. 4. Dempsey thinks that in the future wearable technology will be less visible. B. Dempsey thinks people should C. Protect personal data from big companies. 6. Which is the best summary of Dempsey's attitude to wearable technology? You can use personal data to improve the quality of your life. Variant A. Now, let's complete the questions using the phrases in blue in the article. 1. Has any technology ever revolutionized your life? Do you shop online safe in them that your personal data is protected? Knowledge. 3. Do you manage to stay of your own homework? Top. 4. Can your smartphone track your movements? 5. Does buying things online line there of big corporations? Pockets. 6. Do you think that shoes and clothing will build in technology in the next frontier? So that's all for today. Have a good day and thank you for your attention.